specialists do and find it very insensitive. The VR5150, you go there, and a typical amusement ride, like 3 benches, sits 6 people. Then you put on the headset. And this is millions of dollars of technology they threw into this thing. They filmed actors in different parts of it in what they call an Orange County college. Yeah, I give them credit, it's great technology. Problem is their subject matter wasn't gonna fly for a lot of us folks. Put on a headset, you see the nurse. You're strapped into what you see now as a wheelchair in what cannot be mistaken for anything else but a psychiatric ward. You're in it, being strapped into a wheelchair. Becomes a security guard now to help the nurse give you an injection. This thing is so real, you feel the injection, though they don't inject you. You feel it. That's how real this thing is. And oh, by the way, while this is going on, the nurse is explaining to you, be very careful, because one of our patients is missing, named Katie. Then you turn, there's mayhem, blood and guts, there's all kinds of stuff. Here comes Katie, a psychotic mental patient, to get you next. I don't think that's funny, folks. I don't think that's funny at all. I think it's extremely insensitive. I think it gives a clear message from Knott's Berry Farm and the makers of this ride that if you're in a room with a mentally ill person, you're about to die. So, a lot of folks across the nation, and even into New York, I was one of them, heading this thing, decided that we're not putting up with this. Contacted Knott's Berry Farm, those folks, public information went all the way up, contacted the amusement developers, said we're not putting up with it. They didn't really care. Yet. How many folks know Steve Lopez? Heard the name Steve Lopez? How many of you folks know the movie The Soloist? Steve Lopez, award-winning LA Times writer. He's still active, still writes for them. Wonderful man. If you haven't heard about The Soloist, he wrote a book. Steve wrote a book called The Soloist. It's a true accounting of Steve on the streets of Los Angeles, Skid Row, walking there, because he had to walk there, working at the LA Times and stuff. And he found this amazing man, horribly mentally ill, but amazing man, playing like Bach and Chopin and all these other kind of things, right? I'm gonna start listening to him. Make this story short. Over a long period of time, about 2 years, Steve finally got accepted by Nathaniel. The man's name's Nathaniel. Robert Downey Jr. in the movie played Steve Lopez, and how do you pronounce his name? Jamie Foxx. Okay, I thought it was the other one. Jamie Foxx. I think it was Jamie Foxx portrayed Nathaniel. They both did outstanding jobs in this movie. Point is, Steve Lopez, very famous in his own right. He's still today, we became good friends because he wrote articles about Kelly, and we've met many times, and now we're just really good friends. We teamed up on this Knott's Berry Farm issue. Steve wrote to Knott's Berry Farm. I have my own approaches. I sat down at a board meeting at Nami, Orange County, which I said I'm on the board of directors, and I said, look, because they were, let's do this, let's do that, let's do this. They have no experience. I just went through 5 years of organizing protesters of no less than 1,000 people and getting things done. I said, I got a different way of doing things here. Let's try this. We have a lot of things at our disposal. Another one that I have learned to work very well with are the directors of Orange County Mental Health, including Mary Hale. All these folks. I said, we need to use these people. The Board of Supervisors. At the time, the supervisor for Orange County was Sean Nelson. Sean Nelson carried a protest sign in front of the Fullerton Police Station. I'm calling Sean. I'm calling Mary Hale, Board of Directors, or Director, Orange County Mental Health. They both wrote letters. Steve Lopez wrote his letter, and Steve Lopez emailed and says, oh, by the way, Ron Thomas, Father Kelly Thomas, and I are going to come and do your ride Thursday night. They dropped the 5150 on the initial contacts before Steve sent that last email. They dropped the 5150, and I went there with the hopes of actually getting on this thing. You end up needing reservations because there's just so many people, not enough room, but I interviewed people on the way out. And my report back to the board and all these other folks was, look, it still waddles like a duck and quacks like a duck, okay, folks? Everything that is described, because the newspaper, the LA Times Register, actually got to go in there and wrote a big accounting on it. I said, it's still exactly the same. They've changed the cover only. They took down 5150 to try and appease us and make us go away. So let's call it all in now. So on a Thursday, 2 weeks ago, I guess it is, we had it scheduled to have no less than 1,000 protesters out there on the sidewalks of Beach Boulevard in front of Knott's Berry Farm. You can't tell me, as you guys know, that the mental health community isn't a large one.
Yep.
3 locations in Southern California had this same attraction, if you will. Steve sent out that email, said, we're coming down, Ron Thomas and I. The response was, we're closing it. We're closing it. I get emotional. So I am. It's who I am.